Hi guys,
hello everybody.
Welcome to Original Games UK.
Yep.
Today we are doing the Devil May Cry collection video.
Now, with there being only 5 games in the series, it can't be the biggest collection in the world. But we do actually, we have 8 cartridges here. 8 cartridges?
Whoa! We got some exclusive, boy!
They
Super
re-released
Nintendo, N64.
Yeah. We have the DVDs, the CDs. We actually have 8 cases. It should actually be 9, but I couldn't find one of mine. So yeah, so the being 5 games, but that many cases, it's kind of a bit unusual, isn't it?
You know.
So I think we should start off with, I'll do these 2, and then Aiden does his 3, and these all make sense. Right, so I think I'll do some of mine first. And this is 1, 2, and 3 in a collection on the 360. Yes. Right. I think we should probably run into a bit of how each game plays.
Yeah, and also the first one you maybe bought and like.
Oh yeah.
So when did this like come into your?
A Devil May Cry?
Yes.
As a whole. Yeah. Well, actually, it was my brother who first of all had them on PS2. He fucking sucked at it, and I was like, yo,
was he kind of like
pass the controller over? And I was doing like triple S combos. I was doing Rainstorm. Dante hadn't even unlocked some of the combos. Exactly. I was just mashing guns and mashing Stinger. But yeah, so it wasn't actually my game to begin with, but I was like, that was really cool. At this point, I hadn't really seen many games like it, you know, kind of like hack and slash.
No, I guess not.
With the idea of a style meter and the kind of the added element of there being a combo system.
Yeah, in a
hack and slash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like adding a combo system into Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, there is kind of, but nowhere near as in depth as Devil May Cry. So, one I'd say is a very like compared to the more recent games, is so basic. It's like a few weapons, one or 2 guns, and it really is kind of just.
Okay, so how do other people rate it, and how do you rate 1?
Okay, I believe other people's rating goes 3 the best. Then I think people argue a lot about 4 and 1 is second. For me it goes 4.
Yeah.
I think 4's the best. Then for me it goes DMC. Don't tell anybody. I will literally, people will come around my house, they're gonna burn it down. DMC 4, then the remake. Then I go 3, 1, 2. 2 is actual ass.
Okay.
2 is actually really quite bad.
Weird.
It's not bad. It's like people say Dark Souls 2 is bad, but it's not actually bad.
It's not actually a bad game,
No.
but compared to the others, it's like definitely the flagship.
It just runs it's a bit clunky, it's not as smooth, there's not as many options, it's just, and the cutscenes are really cringy. I say it's not bad, it's just not as good as 1 and 3, especially 3. So yeah, so in 2 they introduced a bit more. To be honest, actually I hadn't even played much of 2. I played like the first few hours and then just kind of got bored and just tailed off. 3 is where you start, like the shit starts to go down. Right? 3 is like epic cutscenes. You get a choice of like 4 like stances, I guess you'd call it. You've got Swordmaster, Royal Guard, Trickster, and Gunslinger.
Okay.
Gunslinger is the obvious one.
Yeah, Gunslinger's the one.
Swordmaster's pretty obvious. Royal Guard is interesting. It's like a block and a parry mechanic.
Okay.
And Trickster is like, you can basically get like an inbuilt dash. But it's like more of an ability frame, you can dash up to the side and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think 3 is definitely a game people consider to be the best in the series. I mean, it ends with an epic fight. It's very epic. It's also like you're going up a tower, like the whole game like going up a tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 is definitely the shit. But yeah, obviously, Aiden has all these games.
Yeah, so I have recently bought, so you can tell Simon's the Devil May Cry Experience 1 Among Us. I like watching Simon on it. I've never really got into it in terms of being good at it.
But I think there definitely is, especially with 1, 2, and 3. There definitely is a period of acclimatizing to it, of acclimatization.
Yes.
It isn't easy. I don't think it's easy to learn, especially with Dante. Dante is quite a complicated character in the series.
I was going to say, if you're like me and you want it for collection purposes, I got 3 games here for £3.
Which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, I know they were definitely mass produced. There weren't, there are lots of copies. But to have these games in particular are very, very good.
So the terrible ones are
I say,
Well,
it's kind of
compared.
yeah. Actually, this is the only game in the
They're not
series
so good.
where you can hold down the button to shoot. You actually don't need to mash.
Okay,
Which,
okay.
obviously, in its own sense, means it's easier, but a lot of people hate the fact that you can do that. People hate the fact that you can hold it down
Why? Because it's easy.
because it's easier.
Because
and
it's
because guns are overpowered in 2.
Okay.
Guns are literally... You could do a gun-only run. I don't know, the point is a boss that you can't shoot, but you could literally do almost all the game with guns.
So Devil May Cry 2, and then the one you're saying is best out of the game I've
yeah,
got
yeah.
is Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening. I feel like there's a special version of this on PS2.
And
as
that's
well.
what the one in this, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's in both. Because obviously I got the one on PS4.
I would say
as well.
this is quite a lot heavier. I'm just gonna,
I think they use a lot more plastic in the cases. That's also why they're heavier.
so we actually have some cool stuff in here as well.
Yeah.
I say yeah for £1, but stuff like this to me is like
Also, it's also that's in a good condition.
yeah.
As well, yeah.
So we have a little
Yeah, I mean, compare that. This is PS2. Compare that to the one I recently bought, the HD Collection on PS4. Wow.
So I've got full manual. And it's
Virgil
got
on the back and
Virgil
stuff.
on the back, hints and tips.
I mean, I think it might be in black and white, but it's still
still black and
decent.
white, but it's actually like a proper manual. It's not just
Yeah.
like safety hazards and this
Don't
game will
do
actually
this whilst
epilepsy.
masturbating. Yeah. Definitely, this is a good tip. Do not masturbate and play Devil May Cry.
I used to love stuff like this. This is the kind of stuff I used to like read, Capcom.
Exactly.
Capcom releases.
And that stuff was sick. But yeah, now this is all we get. An empty box.
And also the fact is, I like having double disc.
Yeah. But yeah.
So Devil May Cry 3. I say 3 games for £3. Classic.
Yeah. I mean, compare that to this, which I know these are remakes. This was 25, I think. Was this 25 or 20?
I think you said 25.
25 for this. Yeah. I mean, I'd still pay it.
Yeah.
I've got no qualms with paying it, but on the original, it's like £3.
Yes.
Pretty ridiculous. Right, now, that sends us to a game called Devil May Cry 4, which I said was my favourite. Which I do have twice, but I don't have it here with me twice.
No, yes.
Here's my disc, just so I can prove the fact that I do own it. Because I also have the special edition on download only on my PS4. Now, Devil May Cry 4 is... Imagine Metal Gear Solid 2. You start off as Raiden, people are losing their fucking shit.
But I played the demo, and the demo had Snake in. Who was this blonde cretin?
Indeed. I also mirror that anguish. But obviously you start off as Nero in Devil May Cry 4. The dude from 5, if those who don't know. He's the main character from 5. With his, now with his robot arm, because Virgil pulls it off in the trailer, a little, for those who don't know. So you start off as Nero in 4. Now 4 is, such I played a lot of 3, was very confused by that game. I literally mashed my way through it. This was at a point where I was still quite young, didn't quite know it, but I love 3 still.
A year ago.
Literally a year ago. I was wearing a nappy whilst playing it. I mashed through 3. I wasn't really sure what I was doing with it. When I did replay them on the 360, I obviously tried to learn the game more, but I played 4 before I got the collection, which I think that was the way they came out. Now 4 was like my first proper, like I sat down, I was like, I'm going to learn how to actually play the game, learn the combos, like try like perfect dodges and do all this kind of stuff. So before you start off as Nero, and that really helps, because Nero is a lot simpler character.
Just so, this is the one right where it opens up and he's like in a motorhome and he like flips through the air.
No, that's the remake. DMC4 starts with him running through the streets of, what's the name of the place, I can't remember. It's like it's still a cityscape, and he's running through and demons try to stop him getting to a church.
Okay.
And in the back is Kyrie, his betrothed, singing, and like the whole start is her singing a song and he's running through and he's killing demons. Like he's trying to cover his arm up because it's a demon arm, but you find out eventually. And then the next bit is you're fighting Dante. See, this is like all this kind of messes with the idea. So you fight Dante at the start as somebody else.
Yeah.
You then stab him through the chest right at the very start. I can't remember exactly, but I think he gets off and then just like vanishes, and then you go through as Nero. Then you go through the whole game as Nero. Then he gets captured. I'm not going to tell how because that's like a proper spoiler. He gets captured. Then you play as Dante, and you literally go through all the same maps but in reverse. And then you and Dante and Nero then get together at the end, and then you like finish off the game.
Like a gay love story. Get together.
Oh, it is. And there is one scene in that game. I mean, he dishes Kyrie the first time. Dante is like, "Ooh, god dang! Oh, that's what I want. None of this, girl." But yeah, so Nero is definitely a lot simpler. You've got a much more simple mechanic. There's no picking from 4 different stances. You've got basically just like your demon arm is like your combo extender.
Yes.
So you've got swords and you've got
he can
guns.
kind of
He can grab.
Yeah.
So he can grab them towards him, and then he's got like an actual like uppercut grab.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Which is like fully invincible. It's very overpowered. But for a new player like I was when I was not new, but
It's what
like
you
trying
want.
to learn, I was like, oh okay, so I can do this combo, and I can like stinger, drag them back, like hold B, hold like back and wide. I can launch them. Maybe I can grab another one up and then do some Ys and some shooting. I could kind of like I could finally understand how to like actually properly play the game.
Yeah.
Which is like when it helped. Then when I was playing Dante, I was like, oh, so I can take what I've learned with Nero
And apply that to him.
and apply it to Dante, and I could finally start to understand how Dante was meant to be played. So it was almost like, what's odd about the game is I sometimes look at it and think Nero is like a whole, like half the game is a tutorial on how to play Dante on the way back. That's kind of how I played it the first time through, and then when I played it through again, I was like, oh, okay, Nero is like his own character, and I started to learn him more. 4 is excellent. Like 4 is definitely a very, very good game. And the re-release on PS4 is excellent because you can then play as Virgil has his own story in it.
Yes. Yeah.
Virgil is a fucking badass in that game. He's
Yeah.
so broke. And Lady and Trish, who are 2 female characters, they're like fine. I know they're meant to be broken, but I just didn't really enjoy playing as them because I'm a sexist. Right, that draws us on to the absolute black sheep. Devil May Cry 2 people think is the black sheep. This is the black sheep.
So for me, can you tell me when, in chronology, when this one was released? So we have DMC, we have DMC2, we have DMC3.
Yeah. Then DMC4, then this. It literally does
It does go like that, okay,
It
yeah.
does go like that, yeah. So this was... So Ninja Theory were tasked with restarting the franchise.
I feel like this is the one I know.
Yeah, this is the one you know, because this is the
Yes.
one that when I was playing it, I do enjoy this game.
The one with the fairground at the start.
Fairground at the start?
This is the one I know, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what can I say about this game? Yes, the story is a bit, like, cringy. It's a bit, like, we're going to save the world, but I'm also, like, an edgy teenager.
Snow from Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah! But actually somehow not as cool.
Okay.
A bit more cringy.
Yeah.
But combat-wise, it's definitely up there as like one of my favourites. Like the way they implement, so the triggers are how you change weapon.
And haven't you got Heaven and Hell on?
Yeah.
Yes.
So like left trigger is you've got 2 options of angel weapons, and right trigger is 2 options of devil weapons, and you use the D-pad to change which angel weapon you want to use.
Yes.
It can make for some ridiculous combos, and they're also at that for me. Well, for my shit ass, they're at that perfect difficulty of like being doable, but you still feel like an absolute god for when you pull them off.
And that's what you want.
That's what these games are designed to do. They're meant to make you feel like the character.
Yeah.
So minus the story, I've kind of come to realise that the story is a bit ass, but I never played them for that. Right, and that, obviously I probably should show them, and that is Devil May Cry. Yeah, so that is the 360 version, which I think I bought second hand, which is why there's like a sticker on the front and stuff. And that's why I've got this on. But then this is how much I enjoyed it. I did buy the definitive version for PS4. Now I went through this game. I should say this. I've been through every difficulty. I went all the way to is it Demons Must Die? I think is the hardest. I believe.
I would say when you were showing me them, and I realised what you had to do, and it was like, wasn't it
the
like
hardest difficulty was that you die. No, Angels Must Die. I believe is they die in one hit. No, what?
I feel like the second hardest one is where you die in one hit and they die in one hit.
Yes.
And the hardest one is you
die
die in one hit, but they don't.
Yeah, and I've been through the whole game on all difficulties.
And I would say, kind of along with your Dark Souls, like to me, it's the game that you're most good at after Dark Souls.
Well, I checked on this game actually on the PS4 one. I think my quickest run through is like 59 minutes.
That is mental.
But I think that's the reason why I went through it so many times is because it is a game that you can just kind of keep on like just going and just doing it over and over again. Yeah. Now this game, if I was to advise, do not buy this one. Like the remastered, sorry, the definitive version adds a lot more, and the gameplay is a lot. Like they really did tweak it enough to make this one the much better version. Yeah. And obviously this comes with the Virgil DLC, which is just like 5 out of 10. It's just fine. But yeah, I think this gets a bad rap. It gets a bad rap for the right reasons, but also gets bad raps for the wrong reasons. Because I say the gameplay is excellent, story's like a 3 or 4 out of 10. But for me, the gameplay is like an 8 or a 9 or even a 10. That's how good it is. But yeah.
So guys, that was Devil May Cry collections. Let us know your favourite Devil May Cry. Please don't Molotov Simon's house.
Yes, I'd rather have a house to go back to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, for me, it's really nice that I'm hoping to get a few more in my collection.
And obviously 5. We're obviously both expecting 5. Yeah.
I can only tell you, like, I probably will get 5.
Yeah.
I probably will get 5, and if not, I will definitely watch you on it, and I can see me getting all these games in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, have you played the series? What's your favourite game? And yeah, let us know your thoughts. And
yeah.
we shall see you soon.